The Lion, the Witch, and the Server Room is a 13th Age pencil and paper RPG played entirely using business collaboration tools. And so walking into the server room, it feels like as soon as you go into the server room, you just vanish. Like there's no long path. There's none of the stuff that dragged you into the world the last time. You snap, and all of a sudden, you are back in Nana Gramden's study, and you're waking up in the beds that you were sleeping in the fantasy world. It's the morning. You feel refreshed after a long night of sleep, and a little confused as to how the timelines are matching up between the two worlds, because it was mid-afternoon in the office world.
There appears to be two of me, and only one of me has a squirrel.
Oh, I see. Which is the one of you want to keep? Is it the one with the nicer hair and the bigger eyes?
Yeah, this one.
Ugh.
I couldn't figure out how to unlock that one, though.
There is a ungroup button.
Ungroup.
So I can toss the squirrel and bring him to front. Bring to front. And, oh, he's kind of, there's some overlap there. This is why you can't have hair. Send it back. You can just be like hiding right there in your hair.
Perfect.
And I'll bring that over here. And as the character who has done the most fiddling, you're going to have the most evil analogs when we finally get to
Oh no.
the floating planet. There's going to be so many evil Anyas. That's evil Anya 4. Oh, jeez, what have I done? Oh no, I'm bringing up so many shortcuts. Every time you change your character, it's a new evil analog.
We're gonna be the best of friends. There's
I
five of us.
changed
It's
mine
gonna be great.
They're evil, though. But still, it all works out. Okay, so you've woken up back in Nana Gramden's hut with adventure on your mind. And being as it's 11:06, we have only 25 minutes, so you are not going to get that far into the world before we call it a day.
Can we have some more soup?
You most definitely can have some soup. In fact, if you want some soup for the road, 2 of you have thermoses.
Yes, please. I would love to take some to go. Chris is laughing at me that I'm snacking in game.
Okay. Steve, would you like some too?
Yes.
Okay. I am just going to grab some stickies and throw them in your character sheet next to your respective thermoses, plus salmon chowder, so that you know that these are full of delicious salmon chowder. However, I will point out that this salmon chowder is it's because of the effects of eating leftover food on the road that's been sitting in a thermos for a long time. It's not going to have the same healing properties as the original salmon chowder. It's going to be tasty. It's food. It's nice food, but it's not going to heal you the way the original salmon chowder did. Okay, so Nana Gramden, who is recovering nicely from her axe wound, she packs you some salmon chowder for the road in your thermoses, which she is rather surprised at the excellent craftsmanship. Did elves make this? This seems like elves made this. This is very nice. Wonderful craftsmanship. It seems like it'll keep your food almost magically hot for hours.
Hint, hint.
And so that's and you're welcome to leave the town of Potential.
Oh man, I just got here.
Yeah, you can ask some questions. You're gonna poke around a bit. You kind of missed the entire adventure in Potential, but
Oh, doesn't Elwith have something to kind of learn from Nana Grandin that we all sort of learned at our last one, but she didn't?
What did something?
Could Hex be like, "Oh, you're back. Nice to see you," and only you. Everybody else here is 2 people, but Elwith.
Oh, what? What do you mean everyone's 2 people? That doesn't even make sense.
When we first ran into Nana Grandin, she was like, "Oh, there's like 10 of you, but there's really only 5 of us." But then she was counting Hex as well, because she could see him. But she was also counting our real-world office counterparts. So she can see both sides of, like, the dimensional tear.
Yeah,
But what she learned about you, Elwith, when she sees you, is you don't have two souls.
But she wouldn't notice that because it wouldn't seem out of the ordinary for someone to have one soul, because that is the regular amount of souls for people to have, so it wouldn't be worth commenting on.
Yeah, but wouldn't she be traveling with a whole group of people with two souls? And
Well, she wasn't traveling with the whole group. She just appeared in the living room.
Oh, dang.
Well, fine.
Well, I'll learn it later.
I think 2 different occasions we've bungled telling you that fact, but you're supposed to know at some point.
I think at this point, that's the running gag.
Okay. So, yeah. We could, if you want to return to a place that you've been to before, you can do that without a spotlight. We still have 3 spotlights, I think, to hand out in the team. An Anya spotlight, a Steve spotlight, and I think it was 2 sessions ago the last time we used a spotlight to move into a black square. I can't remember if Aura used hers or not. So I'm just going to say, here's some spotlights that we have left over. So either Steve, Aura, and Hex, or Anya can choose to move into a black square that we haven't moved into yet, or the entire team can decide to revisit a square we've already visited, if that's a thing that we'd like to do.
They're like close by black squares, or is there a limit?
So it's kind of just you're choosing where to go next. So you can say, let's go to the Placid Falls. You will still cover all of the ground between there and the falls, but I'll only mention it if it becomes important. So like it would be, if you say we want to go to this black clearing here, it's a clearing. It's CLR. If you want to go to this black square down here, you could say, I would like to go to that black square down there, and I'd like to use my spotlight. And we would slowly walk towards that black square down there, and if anything happened, I'd let you know on the way. But otherwise, we just sort of assume that the travel time was sort of factored into that transaction.
Can I take the spotlight and go to the black square that literally has my name on it?
The one that said no. Because there's a black square between you and that black square. So someone has to go to the clearing before you can go to the one that literally has your name on it. But if you say to the team, someone should go to that clearing...
We should maybe head towards that clearing. I've got a good feeling about whatever's south of that clearing.
Wasn't there a church? Weren't we supposed to go to a church?
Well, the church is also
Yeah,
past the clearing. The church is down this way. So,
well, if it's on the way, then we might as well head towards the church.
okay, so I'm just gonna say, for the sake of organizing this the way that it should best be organized, Yang should be the one to do the clearing spotlight, because he's the one who has story stuff that happens there.
All right, that sounds like a thing. Let's do that thing.
Yay, thing.
Let's do some ranging.
Okay, so the whole team walks up the riverbanks again, moves along past Placid Falls, waves to the backbreaker gnome at his nice spa while they walk by his beautiful spa, wander past the river fork, finally meet up to the river crossing where they had met, or had gone flying down the river so many hours ago, and eventually make it to this clearing, which is actually where I expected you to be 3 tiles into your original adventure.
Very nice
Somebody
clearing.
took a swim.
That's perfect.
Doo-doo-doo. So, this is a relatively idyllic river clearing. I can hear myself from the other room, and I'm going to close this door. Just to try to hear less of myself. So, as I've sort of established, the forest here is... this forest feels more dead than a forest should be. There's more rot. There's more. It's darker, but this is a sort of tiny, pleasant circle in the center of the forest that feels like almost a holy space. It feels like it's under the protection of a deity. Unfortunately, as soon as Yang steps into the space that feels like it's under the protection of this deity, Aura, you feel the shape of probability space shifting, like someone around you, like something has caused the very like nature of probability to shift, and exactly as that happens, the Beatrice squawks as loud as it can. It goes burr, 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 and this sort of clues Steve in, and he notices that an enormous tree is about to crash down on him, and dodges out of the way just in time. So this has been a like he was almost crushed to death under a big tree that just fell on his head. And so, let's say it might not be a new experience for Steve. He is a sort of death-avoiding kind of person. But way off in the distance, you see a puff of bright colors. Just way off in the forest, you see a puff of bright colors, as if something had maybe caused that to happen and is now running away from you.
Hex is like, hey, stop, follow that shadow, and like tries to drift towards it, I guess. Tries to get high in the forest to see what he can see who's running away, see if there's anything he can identify.
Okay. Hex starts sort of like chasing. Hex gives chase. Would anybody else like to chase after the thing?
Is the group chasing after the thing?
Okay, I'm going to say, Yang, you are the leader in this scene. Yang, you're going to decide what the entire group is going to be doing.
Steve kind of gathers himself, kind of assesses the situation, sees Hex kind of running off. He's like, well, we probably shouldn't split up. Let's follow the little ghost.
Let's range that way.
Okay, so everyone starts chasing after the puff of color. Okay.
This seems smart.
Yeah. Sorry, I have art for this deep in my folders. And it has gone astray, so I'm just gonna find some on the Google. Oh, this is fine. It's a too nice part of the forest. Okay. At which point we are going to toss. Is he an NPC? I'm pretty sure he's an NPC, but no, he's not an NPC. He is in my mooks folder, because he's not an NPC, he's a mook. Is he a mook? He's not even a mook. Where's this guy? Here's this guy. I found him. He's a very colorful man. Okay. Crap.
A mustache?
He
Oh,
does.
no.
He's got a little mustache. He's a geeky face man. Okay. So, you have successfully run down this man. He's now in just a beautiful forest grove. This seems like this forest grove is unnaturally nicer than the entire rest of this forest, which has been dark and gloomy as hell pretty much the entire time you've been here. And so he looks at the lot of you and goes, "Oh, so you've chased me. Okay, show yourselves. Come out. Come in come. Let me look at you.
Make him pay for what he did."
What did I
What
do?
did we do?
Oh, can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear Hex? I thought only like my teammates could hear him.
Sorry. Should we make a rule for that? Who do you want to hear Hex? Do you want everyone to hear Hex, or do you want just your teammates to hear Hex?
Well, I want him to be able to speak through Aura when he needs to. Like, if Aura needs to talk occasionally, she can, like, sort of do that in this world. I would like to be able to say. This is not a complete mute.
Okay, so you
Also,
want
that's
you want
speaking
you and your
for
teammates to be able to hear Hex, but not NPCs. But if you want to talk to the NPCs, he'll animate Aura to do it.
Yeah, unless NPCs are particularly skilled at seeing
Okay,
like
can see spirits.
otherworldly.
Okay.
Yeah. In which case, I can't just drift around in front of wizards, break into rooms and stuff. But
Okay, so what happened is you said make him pay for what he did, and he was just like, okay, well he didn't hear that at all. Show yourselves.
Although I did say, why? What did he do?
like he tried to drop a tree on Steve. Steve, stab.
Steve. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Okay, so he sort of walks towards a lot of you. You, the one in the center with the spear.
Me?
Yes, you. Oh, yes. So, well, this is unfortunate. I was very much hoping that you would not notice me. So, here's the deal. If all of the rest of you could leave, and let me kill this man here, that would be just spectacular.
No.
Not good at all.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that was gonna be.
Gonna stand right here.
You all seem like brave hero types. That was felt like kind of a long shot. It's really tragic. I don't think this guy even knows why he has to die. I'll admit that it's proving more difficult than usual. I am the fool, a fighter for truth and justice, and I would very much like not to harm any of you. But that man, the Steve, that man there, he has to die. He must die.
What's truth and justice about dropping a tree on an unsuspecting person?
You have to understand that the time is like a garden of forking paths, and some of us have to prune the paths that lead to bad outcomes, and that man is tied to the worst outcome any of us have ever seen. He is dangerous, and so for the good of the universe, we have to kill him. Again and again, and again and again, and again and again and again.
What's wrong with the outcome?
None of us are sure. It's been prophesied that man ends the entire universe. I'm paraphrasing here, but it's bad, and we're pretty sure he's somehow responsible for it. We're not sure how, but that man, dangerous, needs to be put down. Now, all of you seem very nice. I don't want to kill you. I will if you stand in my way, because I have to, as a warrior of truth and light, to defend the entire universe. It seems like it's the right thing to do, but I would much prefer if you just left and let me kill this man in peace.
Sorry, Steve.
I don't know what's going on, but this sounds stupid, and I have sharp knives, so screw you, dude.
We stand just like a little to the back. Hex is very suspicious about this. This is gonna stand out of the way.
So Steve is very confused at this point, but he knows what to do. He points up at one of the trees and goes, "Look, what's that?" And turns around and runs.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, I'll follow.
crafty.
Okay. So what happens is I'm gonna need Steve in specific, because he's really the only one being chased, to roll a dexterity check. Plus, do you have any skills that might? Do you have any backgrounds that might help in a dexterity check plus your level on running the hell away?
I mean, Steve is a trained ranger, probably pretty good at running through forests.
It's true, but you've got tracker there, and what you're doing is really the opposite of tracking.
That's true.
I guess you could make an argument that you are avoiding tracking, you are
Yeah.
hiding, you're
Yes.
He's avoiding leaving a trace.
you're doing the opposite of being tracked. You are disappearing into the forest, and helping your compatriots do so as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I help out by tripping up the warrior for truth?
You can. So he doesn't want to hurt you. He just starts as soon as Steve bails. He ignores all of the rest of you and starts chasing after Steve. As soon as he runs by ScarJo, do you want to just do an attack of opportunity against him, or would you
Nice.
prefer to like try to trip him, or like just like nudge him so he falls? Like, what's your move here? What are you going to try to do to interfere with his?
Yeah, I think I'd start out by just trying to trip him and then getting in his way.
Okie doke. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call that an unarmed attack from you, and the damage is just going to be like knocking him on his ass.
Okay.
So roll a. That would be. I'm looking at the wrong character sheet entirely here. So you're gonna do it. It would be like your scimitar. So it's a D20 plus 2, D20 plus 3 against his AC.
That's a 19. That is my. I'm looking at all those terrible rolls I did, and I got a 19.
Okay, and that
Three.
is definitely going to be a hit. And so this guy has got AC out the friggin' wazoo. But you did roll well enough to throw him on his ass. So while he runs past you, he just takes a big tumble and falls on his face. And
Before he gets up, I want to do something.
okay, while he's on his face, what do you want to do?
I would like to use one of my cantrips. It is called Ghost Sound. Creates a false noise emanating from somewhere nearby. It's like a good version of throwing my voice, if your voice could create a wide variety of sounds. I know Steve pretty well now, so I'm going to do my best to mimic Steve, like he's calling for Beatrice, but in the opposite direction, like if we're running west, like say north or something. Or try and put him off the trail by like throwing a fake Steve voice somewhere else.
Fake Steve.
Boop. This, I'm not going to make you roll for that. That sounds like it definitely works. So he's fallen on his ass. He gets up and he hears the voice of Steve off in the opposite direction, going, "I'm running away!" So he gives chase. He chases after imaginary Steve. Which takes us to 11:30, which is kind of the end of our session. And I mean, I'm gonna call that you defeated this guy by just running away. He ran off in the other direction, chasing a voice that he heard.
Love it.
Yeah, Cat. I know Cat. So, ScarJo, you notice that next to the man, he when he fell, he dropped something.
Oh yeah, what'd he drop? Actually, I want to use my treasure sticker right now.
Okay. So, two things happen. First of all, you notice that he dropped something. And so he left behind, he left it on the ground, an ace of spades.
Like a card?
A card. A playing card, the ace of spades, which is just sitting on the ground where he fell down. Also, if you'd like to drop a treasure sticker here, you're welcome to it.
I'm totally doing it. Let's see. When I pick up the ace of spades, is it just a card?
So you pick up the ace of spades. It appears to be just a card, but you feel like it. You feel like it has something special about it, but you're not sure exactly what it is.
Well, like 51 cards away from being able to play solitaire, so I'm gonna keep it.
Also, I'm gonna say you should definitely give the card to Steve.
Okay.
We're in the forest.
Okay, so the treasure sticker.
Steve comes back.
The treasure sticker hits the forest. It just like you slap it right on the forest. Bam! Forest treasure. And what happens is you hear you hear the sounds of a goblin dirigible floating by in the air. Just and then right above you hear, "Oh shit!" And then at which point an enormous bin of what appears to be treasure just lands, plows into the ground right here. Unfortunately, the impact just shatters the bottom of the chest, and so now what you're faced with is kind of a lot of wood and mixed coinage and some like it looks like there's a pot in there and a little crown and some glasses and some costume jewelry and just a mixed bag of a cat.
There was a really like relevant tweet about this recently, but I guess I'll get myself a little bit of gold and costume jewelry.
Awesome.
Okay, so digging through it, you find that most of the value in this bin is in copper and silver pieces, which are still money. It's just not money that's worth an awful lot of money. So you find 500. You find 500 copper pieces, which is $5 in pennies. You find 500 silver pieces, which is like $50. I mean, it's not bad. It's like 500 silver pieces is a solid 50 gold pieces. So you made some bank off of this endeavor. And you also pick up, you could just make a Post-it for it, but a handful of costume jewelry. It's made out of glass. The metal is like cheap metal, but it could pass for jewelry in a heist situation. If you find yourself in such a situation.
I totally imagine many scenarios where it could be.
And so with that behind, it's just there's some dirt and there's some sort of mixed crap on the ground here, and some broken up wood because this chest just imploded when it hit the ground. And so that is the result of your your haul. Steve pokes his head back into the forest very cautiously and asks if the terrifying assassin is gone.
He
Yep,
went
he's
that
gone.
way.
That was a thing, eh? That sure was a thing.
That was something.
So he said that you might end the world or something? Do you know anything about that?
Not even the slightest clue.
What about the chicken?
Steve pokes at Beatrice.
Pleading the fifth. Wise.
Okie doke. We seem to have resolved this scene.
What about that card? Does that mean anything to you? Like a bunch of weird shit just happened.
What about that church? Maybe there's gamblers there.
Welp!
Onwards. To the church. Past the clear.
We're not going to go to the church tonight. This is going to be the end of our session now because it's 11:30, which is around the
Sure.
time when we start cleaning things up. So, let's see here. We've got Scarjo with a magic card. Did you put the magic card in your inventory, Scarjo?
Oh, not just yet.
Okay. And a pile of costume jewelry and some and 500 each of silver and gold pieces, which is quite the bounty, although it's pretty trashy bounty. And heavy.
The card was for Steve, though, yeah? Steve?
Well, it was for him, but he's not holding onto it at the moment.
Gotcha.
Okay. And I'm going to call the session there. We did it, everyone.
We
Hooray.
did it.
Hey,
Woo.
Okay, doke. So, having reached the end of the session, let's do just a little brief recap on how that went. What did? Are there? I was going to say, did I introduce any characters you want to see more of there? But yeah. So, are there things about that session you'd like to see more of, and things about that session you'd like to see less of?
Well, I'm definitely gonna hang out with old Pete some more.
Mm. Yeah, and I didn't mind the office minigame, although it was a large ramp up. I don't know how to get past rule telling without just having rule telling, but once we got into the swings of things, it came across pretty easily.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure. There's kind of two things that I wasn't really sure about with the game. One is the office politics and how to use them, because like it was advantageous to hold on to them, and I found
Yeah.
it hard to try and like negotiate to get points if they're not really given up. I kind of struggled with
Yeah.
that.
Like instead of having the most at the end, maybe it should have been like using the most.
And like with Shayla, I sometimes had decisions that I'm not sure if Myrtle would have made those decisions. And then it was easier for me because I'm like, Hex does those decisions then. But am I supposed to be role playing my who am I playing as? You know, when I'm in the office now, I guess I am playing as Hex in the office because the bodies have switched or
your Aura and Hex and Myrtle all at the same time.
Yeah. kind of smashed together. Myrtle must be really confused.
She has more personalities than anyone.
I kind of like the choose your own adventure nature of it, though.
Mm.
Having the different outcomes, that was real fun.
I'm surprised. Well, not surprised, but you all made it to the end of the coffee shop. You kept the coffee shop open the whole time.
Somehow.
Somehow. And it was definitely 100% possible for you to have taken
Like
a couple of
few
wrong
times.
turns and
Yeah.
for it to have gone completely just... there were so many loss of funding tokens in there that I think that if you had bought tea, you would have gone out of business.
Yeah, and my job was to tank that, by the way. So every time I was contributing, I was trying to throw us out of whack, including my Rickroll, which in fact saved the day. So. Well, so the cookie crumbles sometimes.
I'm sorry. I should have. I mean, I guess I should have paid. I should have paid more attention to what you were probably trying to accomplish there, because I took your very powerful effect and kind of applied it against your best interests by accident. I'm sorry.
Well, I learned my lesson.
Because I mean, if I had known that the Rickroll was intended to cause chaos in that situation, I could have made chaos happen in that situation instead. I had the power there. The
Hiding
Rickroll
stuff
can.
from your evil boss.
Rick Astley comes to your office in person and tries to make an espresso. This machine's broken.
Or like our coffee machine, it plays a little song. It plays Rick Astley every time it's done heating up the water, and eventually everyone goes crazy. Smashes it. Gets fired.
Trying to look at what other songs he does.
He does other songs?
Apparently. Because, like, wouldn't that be funny? Is you drop the token down and it has nothing to do with the one song that he's known for?
All of his greatest
Just a
hits,
one.
except for the one that everyone knows him for. Which I'm sure he would appreciate. I think Rick Astley would very much like it if people knew him for anything but that one song. He's a very accomplished singer. He's actually
Right,
quite
like-
talented. Like he continues to participate in the zeitgeist every now and then from his like YouTube channel where he sings very, very well. He's a talented singer, but no one cares.
I'm guessing he's made a lot of money off this, so
It's true. Could I be so unlucky?
Now we have a crazy dude with a weird mustache and a flower robe thing and 4 hands.
Just the
He's
two,
running around the
just the two
forest.
hands. He's just got big bell sleeves.
What's the brown behind it?
Bell sleeves. His-
Like the
Oh,
inside.
they are. Oh, okay. I zoomed in. The mustache is seriously creepy, though.
He's
Like,
just
I think I worked with this guy.
really this exact guy.
Like the whole glass mustache combo. Like, it's very much the guy I used to work with.
Yeah, that is based partially off one of my uncles who used to work at BC Tel. He's dead now, but before that, he wore that kind of glasses and had that kind of mustache and was one of my favorite uncles. Had a lot of old technology.
Oh,
He got me my first ever computer. He was a good uncle.
Aw.
But yeah, the little mustache, the big glasses and little mustache combo holds a big spot in my heart. And I was trying to figure out how to key into the fact that Steve is disliked by the goddess of light, which is hard to write around, to be honest.
Steve has some issues that he doesn't know about.
Oh, my cat! My cat is so sad that we've been ignoring him for like.
He's real
3
lonely.
hours.
I've been trying to entertain him.
He's been frustrated running. We've got a wheel for him, and he runs when he's.
Yeah, when he gets pissed off, he does a very pointed run.
He works off his steam on the wheel.
Perfect.
if I request that Sir Chatters gets a transparent background, is that going to make a 5th evil Anya?
No, I don't. That would make an evil Sir Chatters, but that's probably fine. An evil,
Oh, now I want to
opaque
make Sir Chatters.
Sir Chatters. But your superior transparent Sir Chatters will prevail.
Could I make like a little squirrel with a knight helmet?
Yeah.
You should. You definitely should. If you
Make a
want to
little
draw,
That was. Sorry?
I could make a little battle squirrel. You have like an office squirrel, but a battle squirrel as well.
love
It'd be
it.
great.
That
Oh.
would be awesome.
yeah, we also need. I mean, Sir Chatters came to the office, so an adorable little tie.
Like an office squirrel.
Oh,
Office squirrel. He's just trying to fit
A
in.
little pocket protector with acorns in it.
little suit jacket.
All right, I'll make this happen.
Please do. I'm already 100% on board with this squirrel plan. Okey-doke.
So,
All right,
speaking
well.
of squirrels,
Hmm?
this is a. I'm gonna post it in channel. Where's Discord? Too many windows. Text chat. This is a legit magic card that we printed for this set.
Do. Go into gatherit@wizards.com.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a nice one.
Nice.
It's a squirrel, a legendary squirrel,
It's indestructible and can't be countered.
Indestructible.
a
That's amazing.
legendary, uncounterable, indestructible squirrel with berserk.
Oh,
Uh,
not bad.
It's fantastic.
That's a strange card. I'm looking at it and trying to think of powerful card synergies, but it's a strange card.
It's really good.
It's like it gives your whole team curiosity, so it's like
Yeah.
you
If
have
you
go
draw
wide and
so many cards, and that would be really powerful in a red-green deck.
Or like white-green tokens.
Yeah, basically it's just a powerful synergy with anything to have a buttload of cards in your hand. I think it's weakest in green actually because green.
Yep.
I mean that makes sense. It's sort of a balancing factor. You want to mix this in with a different color that needs more card draw. But yeah, powerful little squirrel. Indestructible helps. I mean, the 1/1 and attacking each combat if able would be a real problem otherwise.
There.
Yeah, I know that like the lead designer of Magic really struggles to get scrolls in because everyone's like, "Oh, you're always trying to get scrolls in. This is a serious game about wizards."
Scroll game.
Like, no. This is a magic scroll. It's a pair of secret scroll. We're angry.
I was really curious about what it would take to try to make just the trolliest magic deck, like a stupid bad magic deck full of funny creatures that don't work well together. And
Have you heard of Bear Force One?
no,
Bear
They
Force
they
One?
keep trying to make bears happen because it's kind of a meme that no one can make bears happen, and I think they almost got there this time. There's a whole bunch of bears now in the game. Yeah. There's also so they've almost made bears happen. I think the squirrels are getting there, but the other weird animal thing that they haven't pulled off is goats. There's like 3 cards in the game that reference goats and nothing else, and people
Dang.
keep trying to make goat synergy happen, even though there's like no cards.
there's not enough cards for a goat deck. I wish there was. It would be so good to have even a passable goat deck. It doesn't have to be a powerful deck. It just has to have enough cards to hold itself up. Like any deck that's all bears by theme, it wouldn't win, but I don't care. I just want to play it against people so that they could have a chuckle with me at the bear deck.
No, this is humor. This is squirrel-based humor.
There's so many.
That is a dancing squirrel.
Wow, you guys have posted so much squirrel content.
This game is now only about squirrels.
Hashtag squirrel D&D.
You're gonna come back in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna have so much like homebrew squirrel content for you.
Please. Squirrel's actually the main character.
And before you go to the church, you should stop by the Anya box.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's where we were
Because I
theoretically headed.
am contractually obligated by the rules of the game itself to provide a handful of you with powerful boons from your respective icons, and we are on our fourth session now, and my boon handing has been very slim. So you gotta go get some boons. You gotta get your boons on. Haven't even gotten to the Gary boons, which are just embedded even deeper in the universe. And it was unfortunate that I thought to myself, instead of just having the gods show up and be like, "Here, it's your boon. I'm gonna go now," I just put them in the universe in the vague area of your characters and hope you'd walk into them. So that's a strategy that's not gonna hold up well over time.
Alright, I'm headed out. Bye, folks.
Thanks for coming.
Good
Good night.
in the wee hours.
Yes, we're approaching the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that was a good session, everyone. So we'll meet again in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
The squirrel meme. It's apparently it's a thing. It's the darkest hour. The squirrel arrives.
It's
It like-
it's a meme.
Yeah, apparently there's lots of them.
Well, I have to factor this in somehow. This is very good.
That's very, very good.
I don't know where it started, but
Quick question scheduling wise.
Yeah.
We did this a week early, so you said we're meeting in 2 weeks. Are we shifting everything up?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we're just gonna do everything on
Change
2
my
weeks.
calendar.
Oh,
Mm.
So the thought was we were moving next week's 1 week back, and then everything would be on. Would be 3
Oh, I don't
weeks.
care. I just want to make sure
Okay.
I know when it is.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks from now would be the next session. It just means that you all, if you have it every 2 weeks on your calendar, you have to pull it all 2
Exactly.
weeks back forever.
Yeah. Shift.
But then we don't have a 3 week gap, which could kill some forward momentum. Not that we have an awful lot of forward momentum anyways, but we have some. There's some momentum.
There's squirrel momentum.
In your darkest hour, the squirrel could arrive any minute now.
Yeah.
Yeah. People crazy for the squirrel.
These are good.
Yeah. Gotta wonder what got people so passionate about squirrels.
I'm going to stop this stream as a recording. Okay, I'm going to stop this recording here, but there should be an episode lined up right after this one, unless you're at the end of the recordings, at which point, well, the new episode should be along shortly.